Hello, thank you very much, Foundry, FMX, for having us. Spellbound is about magic, and it's a musical story, but I think it's better if you watch it.
Oh, they're here! Be cool. Huh?
Excellent service, Lawrence. I'm giving you 5 stars.
You must be Princess Alien.
That's me!
So you're having some trouble with your parents?
Yeah, they went into the dark forest, and when they came back, they were a little different.
How different?
Well,
Oh, wow, you ain't kidding.
Her parents are monsters.
Wow. I thought you were just being dramatic.
why would I do that?
Because you're a teenager.
Mom!
Wow.
Monsters, ready the battalion!
Stop! This is your king and queen!
That's the king and queen?
For the safety of the kingdom, they will be sent to the far reaches of the world.
If they don't change back soon, they'll be monsters forever.
We have to get them out of here. Mom, Dad, we're going to break the spell. Come on, let's go! We're gonna make it together. Put down your weapons.
Sis?
I said drop them.
What the?
Ugh. Guess we gotta be a bit more specific. Bad king, bad queen. Hey,
Chew away, sire.
Dad, put him down.
Okay, so what are we going to talk about? We would like to show you how the compositing team helped to create the Spellbound world, from artistic technical sides. We have a really tight schedule, and a small compositing team to deliver the movie, and we have to adapt to the challenges that we have, such as a new pipeline, USD pipeline, a new lighting software, and also we need to merge all the new workflow for different departments, such as compositing, lighting, but also effects and matte painting. Well, this is going to be the agenda.
Yes. Hi, I'm Antonio. This is our agenda for today's presentation. We will talk over a couple of case studies, and then we will cover our experience with a multishot workflow.
Memories is the name of an effect that is in the film, but I wanted to use it as an example to illustrate the daily challenges that the compositing department has to face, in an ordinary production day. Basically, this effect was supposed to appear in just a few shots in a sequence, but because the story changed, it became more important, and so we needed to spread that effect to much more sequences, many shots. So in a situation like this, what is happening is that usually we have a meeting with all the heads of department to evaluate which one is the best approach to, to develop the effect. So in that meeting, it was, it was decided that the compositing department has to do the effect, and then they call us to do it. So the memories effect itself. In the story, the main character memories are important because she started remembering when she had good feelings and good moments with her parents, and so it was important that the effect support this idea and from the storytelling point of view. So I'm going to explain a little bit the process that we had to create this effect. So we start with usually receiving external references from the production designer mainly. Usually we use pictures, videos, drawings from other movies. It's very common use. So in here we can have an idea or see the basis that how can create the effect, how the glow is going to be, the color, transparencies, the softness of the edges, And the second step would be like what we call the kickoff. Usually when we start a sequence or a effect like this, we got a kickoff meeting with the director, the VFX supervisor, the OP, the production designers, and we start having the keys on how the effect's gonna be. In this case, we have references from the storyboard, and animation provide us with some blockings that help us to know where the effect's gonna be, how it's gonna be. We can ask to the director what she had in mind about this, intention, mainly lighting, color, whatever. So the third step, it will be the receiving the paint overs. The paint overs basically is direct painting on top of a 3D render, and this is quite useful for us. This was painted by one of the production designers, Michael Sparber. Very nice. It's amazing working with him. And this beautiful paint over, we can have an idea of how the color is. We are going to use, in this case, warm color, the glows, transparency, how the reflections start working, So what we had in here, the next step is the look depth step. What you're watching here is one of the Nuke script that we use to create the look depth. In this one is nice and tidy. We have a lot of things in here, but that's not used the more common, To create a look depth, we have a workflow. We call it working session. What we do is sitting side by side with in front of a new script with the production designer, and it's amazing because you can have instant feedback about what he wants to achieve. So once we're happy with the result, we prepare some wedges or versions that we put in front of the director. Once the director is happy with one of the versions, what we have to do is the next step is to transfer that script that you showed, that is a little bit mess, in a functional script, Nuke script. That any artist can work with it. In here, what we have included some key points that we need to transfer to that template. Also, there is that contact sheet that you are watching is a group of light groups that we, work very closely with the lighting department, and they prepare for us that one. Some light groups that can help us to achieve the effect that we are looking for. In this case, we were evaluating if working with a template or working with a gizmo. If you don't know what is this, a template is basically a little piece of a script that is loaded into a master script. And all the nodes are exposed to the artist, so you have more control about it. And a gizmo is a bunch of nodes inside of a node, a group node, sorry, and some of the values are exposed to the artist. We evaluated which one is, for us, was in that moment the best workflow. Finally, we came out with the idea of working with templates, mainly because we had a lot of masks created from Cryptomath, and it was easier for us to handle that. Okay, so in here you see the shot with the final result. So here is this demonstration of how the template works. What we got in here is the background layer and the characters layer. And we use what we call like a load and plug and play. Basically, this is a small panel. We have 3 different kind of templates I will talk about later. So this is the main template, what we call the golden template. So we just plug to the character layer, the background, and you see the final result. There it goes. I mean, not always is as easy as it is in here right now, but it worked pretty much like that in many shots. So the idea of the template is to have like a kind of split modules where we can control the different key points that I showed you before, like the color corrections, the blur of the edges, the softness, the transparency, the softness of the skin, and the different kind of glows. We have 2 kind of glows, the what we call the outer glow, and we have also in the other module the inner glow. For the inner glow, we were working with lighting, and they created for us this specular shader that they help us to achieve, a better look especially in the golden areas of the dresses or the brighter areas. So basically, you got the background layer, you apply the outer glow, the softness layer, then the inner glow. We have also a distortion map animated to create a little bit of fantasy around the some areas of the dress. So if we need, for example, cheat or adjust the color correction, you can see here we can make the effect warmer or cooler. Also, with the glow, you see that is we have that backdrop in orange more intense because usually are the parameters that the artist had to adjust from one shot to another. Most of the time they didn't need to adjust all the parameters. So, and here, for example, they are adjusting the inner glow, but the idea is to work independently without, sometimes what is happening, you do a color correction, you are also modifying the glow, and that's something that we didn't want to do it. Okay, so this is what I was talking before. That is we call the memories stages, okay? So in order to express the emotions of the character, in the story, there were like 3 moments. So we created 3 kind of templates to help that. What is called this one is the blue memory, is when the character start remembering the good time that she had with her parents, sorry. And in this case, we are using the blue color. We got more transparency on the effect. The next one is the golden memory, probably the main template. In here, we are using warm color, more saturated, because the memory gets stronger in that moment. And the third stage is what we call the neutral memory. Actually, it's a variation of the golden memory, but it was used in other sequences where the emotions and the feeling were stronger. So we are also using the warm color, but we got more reds and the saturation, for example, in the skin tones, and on the jacket, or on the hair, mom's hair. Is less saturated than in the other part. So also in a situation where we have similar shots with the same camera angle or the lighting conditions, what we did is loading one template in one multi-shot script. So in this way, we can handle 4 similar shots, for example, at the same time. But that is something that Antonio is going to talk about it.
Thank you, Alberto, for sharing. For this next example, we will first show you how the Oracle hologram effect was achieved. And the Oracle are those little creatures that appear in the movie. One of the most common starting point, as we saw in the previous example, are references like this one that was provided, and where you can see how closely we had to match the art reference provided by the production designer. Then I want to show you a Nuke. We work on the look development as a single shot in the traditional way, where we build the element what we need for the effect. And I must emphasize how inventive this movie is that blends content like magical remote with hologram. Well, later we will use this script to discuss about multishot. But for now, we can see how we applied a series of color correction, and also we created lens effects elements like a series of glows, light grabs. Then we build a simple particle system that made specifically for the sparkles and glints in the light beam. This is a very interesting effect as a magical force field using a displacement map. This is a polar gradient made with an expression with some 2D transformation extracted for the motion of the geometry. That is applied as an ST map to a vertical noise. And with this effect, what we achieve is the sense of a magical field evolving from the center to the edges. Right. Now I'm going to show you the shot, how it was sent to Look Dev Review. Pretty nice. And I want to highlight the version because
790, nice.
and it wasn't the last one. Well. Then we want to talk about how we transfer this to a multi-shot script. This thing will lead us to discuss the multi-shot workflow, what is a more technical part, but we will try to illustrate to make it interesting for everyone. Anyway, we'd like to tell how multi-shot help us to tackle artistical challenges more efficiently. With this slide, I wanted to explain how we spend an insane amount of time defining, designing, presenting, discussing workflow, because it's an important thing because we have to move like more than 1,000 shots through to delivery. In our previous show in Luck, we were working on a system that could create Nuke script for every shot procedurally, and it was working well. And also we presented as our compositing workflow, but then our boss told us about multi-shot and how it helped. At the moment, we didn't know how to.
Yeah, that is to represent the first time that we heard about multi-shot.
Yeah. At that time, Foundry hadn't yet released the Nuke 16 ESB variable or the multi-shot toolset, but other studios had already implemented their own. They created their own implementation thanks to Nuke open architecture. So what we really need is a time machine to bring Nuke 16 to 2020. Right. I want to show you how we group shop into families. We may use 2 different approaches. A more technical one, that is to a shot that shares the same light rate, and other different approach, more visual, that a shot that shares more or less shot that have similar framing and also have more or less the same assets. To group effectively, you need to apply a bit of both perspective. And also, grouping shot is a huge task in itself. A multi-shot workflow let us handle multiple shots from the same Nuke script, and then we can work with a group of shots the same way we are working with a single one. Nuke Studio both can handle multiple shots, more than one shot in the same project, but Nuke Studio doing that sequentially let us work with multiple shots in a timeline, but very useful for reviewing, conforming, checking, or presenting. And then we have Katana, that is a very powerful 3D lighting and look depth system that have an extensive multi-shot toolset that we, compositor, have always looked at with a little envy. But we're not sure if it could work in a 2D workflow because, in 2D, we may have super complex interdependencies and we are dealing with different kind of sources. Right, I'm going to show you how we develop our multi-shot workflow in Nuke. We were using this tool that is the shot board. That is very cool because we can visually have all the shots. We can filter by families. We can select shot by shot what we need. We also have this custom read node that is called render asset. That was made with some code, with TCL and expression, and prevent the artist from browsing in the file system. So we avoid human mistake, and we let artists decide which element to load into Nuke. That was awesome. We can check here. We are switching between shot and how render asset is responding. Then we develop a couple of comp nodes, what is called a shot, switch shot, also a group, and both responded, both reacted, and depending on the shot you are selecting on the shot board. In that case, the switch shot has a shot assigned, 325, and we can see how it evaluates to the pipe that is labeled true, because we have it selected on the shot board. But anyway, we don't want to extend more about this because all of this has been properly implemented in Nuke 15.2 and Nuke 16 with the so-called GSV variable and multi-shot toolset. I have to say our implementation was a bit bloated with TCL expression, with callback, and that had an impact on the performance. However, the multi-shot system saved us a lot of time speeding up our iteration cycles. And what used to take hours copying node from one script to another, to a different one, now it happens instantly. And we can see, now I'm going to show you, for instance, I'm going to adjust here a light with that.
The film light, no?
Yeah, the film light. With this custom tool, adjusting the exposure and color, we may notice how the fill light will change the propagate across all related shots. What is cool because we are ensuring a consistent look throughout the group of shots, throughout the sequences, and so on. Super cool. But despite this benefit, we had concern. Personally, I worried about losing. If I lose a multi-shot script, may have implications or losing work of multiple shots. But anyway, it rarely happened. We have reliable backup system, autosave, automatic incremental updates. Also, I have to say that multi-shot needs more time preparing template because all the inputs has to be consistent, has to share like a same layer breakdown. That is a thing that we have to have in mind. Also, another important thing is production needs, because sometimes when we are near to the delivery, it can happen that artists may have a lot of shots to do while others are not so busy. Because of that, at some point they request us to split family into two. But it's always worried because at some point, part of the shot are not receiving that family updates. But anyway, I think we can control it. But despite any caveat, we are totally on board with the multishot system. With multishot, all that thing we have mentioned before, it was successful in our experience in Spellbound, and also we were an early adopter of the GSV variable thanks to the help of Foundry, and I think pretty much it is.
Yeah. So we would like to say thank you to the, Skydance compositing team. Amazing what they did. So we are really proud of them. Yeah, I think it's time for questions. We got time.
Yep, thank you.